Okay, so I just got this Roland Cube 80X. Cube 80X. It's not the XL, it's not the GX, it's the Cube 80X. And there's a difference between them. The Cube 80GX doesn't have a looper. And the Cube 80X and the Cube 80XL have loopers. And there's some things, the layout's just slightly different on the control panel, but anyways, so I'll just give you some sounds here. I got the EQ pretty much set all at noon, so I got it on the digital reverb right now, and this is the Roland JC Clean. Playing an Epiphone dot with humbuckers. This is the Roland JC Clean sound, and I really like it. And what I really love is there's a bright button on here that you can hit. It gives you a significant amount of more clean high end, which is really nice. So that's without. Turn the bright switch on. So that's pretty nice, for some neck pickup stuff. That's humbuckers too. It sounds real clean because you got the bright switch on there. Yeah, here's a little better angle. You can see the controls better. So we're still on the JC Clean. So, and then you hit this button to switch it over to this side, and this is all your various amp models. This is Acoustic Simulator, which doesn't sound as bright as the JC Clean. Oops. So yeah, JC Clean. Okay, black panel. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like an old Fender Twin Reverb. And if you turn up the gain, you can get it sounding like it's a pretty cranked. That does sound like a Fender Twin just cranked. It's got that flubby, because it's not a crunchy Marshall distortion. It's just like that flubby. So, but I don't ever really go for that sound. And it almost sounds like, the Rolling Stones cranked up at Altamont, or something like that, which is kind of cool. But I usually like, a nice clean Fender sound, so. So moving right along, then deluxe combo. I think this is supposed to be like a deluxe reverb. Sounds a lot more mid-rangey. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but if I back off on the, back off on that a little bit. The one thing about this, I like this amp because the EQ controls are pretty effective. Actually, that sounds pretty honky, pretty terrible. In the room, I don't know if the terribleness of that sound is coming through, but I think part of the problem is maybe the gain's up a little too high. So yeah, that sounds better. It's a lot of bass. And then another thing I'd like to point out here is the reverbs. So like, you get a spring and a plate reverb. Here's the spring. Really crank it up. Okay, that's pretty ridiculous. Not like you would ever use that much, but that's pretty cool. And then the plate reverb is a lot smoother. So I generally go for the plate reverb, although I do like that spring reverb also. Sounded pretty honky. I'm not sure if that's the amp or just this guitar pickup. Ooh, when I turn my volume on the guitar down, that sounds a little clearer. That's because on this Epiphone Dot, I have treble bleed. I installed treble bleeds on both the volume pots, so I get nice clear tone even when I turn the volume down. Okay, that's a little too much reverb, though. I like a good amount. I don't know. Sometimes. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm kind of rambling on here. So we'll move on to the Brit combo, and I think this is kind of supposed to be like a JMP, kind of late 70s. Master volume Marshall. Ooh, that's loud. Probably bring that reverb down just a hair. is really, really loud. And the volume is only on 3. So this amp gets loud pretty quick. Now that's more manageable. Sounds like you could play some AC/DC with that tone, huh? And you can get a lot of gain out of there. It sounds really JCM 800-y now if you crank the gain up. You know, and that a good metal tone like that's got to have some delay, which you got your tap tempo too on that. That's a little too long. There we go. A little too much. There we go. So anyways, you get the idea on that. That's some Brit combo, which I think is like a JMP. And then you get to Tweed, which is really raunchy sounding. Really raunchy. Crank up some gain on that, really get the... And that's really warm sounding, like a Tweed should. But I also think a good Tweed sound has a little bit of crispness on top, which you can get with the presence control. But it's a pretty raunchy, kind of nasally mid-range tone on this, which does sound like the PV Classic 5410 I used to have. This almost sounds exactly like the PV Classic 5410 I used to have. Just a little aside here. If you hit with your pick, that sounds kind of raunchy, but if you hit with your finger, Sounds much better. Tone is in the fingers, dude. So anyways, that's kind of the Tweed model, and it does sound a lot to me like a PV Classic 5410 I used to have. And then here's the classic mode, which I think might be JCM 800. It's really bright. Got to turn down that presence. Real tight, real bassy. The EQ controls are really powerful on here, really effective. I can usually keep everything mostly at noon and still get plenty of everything. Real tight on the low end, real chunky. That is just, you can really feel it. Like when you dig in with your pick, this amp really responds nicely. So that's a classic, and I think that's kind of like supposed to be JCM 800. I'm not sure. Metal, maybe, I don't know. That sounds great. Now, I need to go back for a second. Now, this classic mode, I said sounds like a JCM 800. Actually, I think. I'm not sure. I need to Google this and read up on it. I think the classic is supposed to be a JCM 2000 DSL 100 Marshall, which I used to have one. And the reason I think that, because if you crank up the gain on this, man, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. I need to write down those settings right there because that sounds pretty amazing. Alright, well, I'm getting really rambly and playing really obnoxious, horrible sounding things. So, but anyways, you go to the metal. Now, I think metal is the JCM 800. And then rectifier, that's, of course, that gives you your really scooped Mesa Boogie. And that's almost where you gotta, man. So, yeah, that's really good. Then the Dyna, I'm not sure, I thought it was supposed to be, you play softly and you get clean. And then I think if you hit harder, it goes into a much higher gain. That is pretty amazing how you can just it still sounds like you're getting some breakup when you're playing softly. So it sounds really natural. That's the ultimate cleaning up when you turn your guitar volume down setting right there. So, okay, and then now I just want to go over the effects. So what I usually do, if I'm going to use this amp on a gig, I'm probably going to set it on Brit Combo. Oh, that's probably like Brit Combo. That's probably like the either Vox. I bet you that's what it's supposed to be, Voxy. That is extremely loud. So, and I just want to quickly demonstrate the effects. So, get chorus. And I really like, so you can get some good different stages of chorus, but I really like this thick, watery chorus. So, like, if you wanted to do the Roland Jazz thing, you could turn on your that channel. Now, a lot of people don't like that much chorus on there. They want a more subtle effect, and so if you're going for that, that sounds really nice, really sweet. All right, and so, but I'm wanting to talk some more about the effects. Okay, and Flanger. Subtle sweep. I like you get that warbly. I like that. For some reason. phase shifter is kind of weak. It's a little shallow, I think. Because I don't like the speed that quick. It just sounds a little shallow to me. I wish there was a way to add more depth to it. It would sound really good. But it's better than nothing. It'll do in a pinch, you know, if you want to do some Waylon Jennings, like. I like to do some swirly, like. Although I don't like the speed set that high, so, you know, I'd usually get it like. So that's all right, you know. And then you got the tremolo. Go for a 50s sound. Some spring reverb. Sweet. You know, I think you could just put it on, you know, like if you wanted to do any kind of gig, you could put it on Brit combo between the delay and the reverb. You could get every sound you need. Now, I have not covered the delay much. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you get delay. You get that warm delay. Here, I'll turn off the reverb so you can hear the delay better. And of course, it's tap tempo too, which is nice. Ooh, like let's say if you wanted to get a rockabilly, get a real. That's the JC Clean. Ooh. Okay. Well, let's kick back on the JC Clean. Okay. Guess it doesn't really sound a lot different. Oh yeah, there's a difference. It's kind of subtle. You probably can't even hear it on this video. And then the looper, I'm not sure how that works. Yeah, I think you gotta press the button to start recording, and oh, there we go. I got a loop going. Ooh, let's see if I can get reverb. And then I think double tap to stop it, and then to erase, you press and hold and it erases. So anyways, there's also the solo channel, which basically any sound you get, you press and hold this button and it will save it to be called up anytime later. And you can set the volume of that, which is great for doing for sticking out, turning up for your guitar, for lead solo. So anyways, this has been a very half-assed review of this really cool Roland Cube 80X I just got. I love this amp. If I could get a decent foot controller for it, I could use this on gigs any day. I think it's amazing. Super versatile. No menus. You can get any sound and you don't have to go through any menus, which is really, it's real super user friendly. It's yeah, I love this thing. I've wanted one for a long time. I'm really glad I got it.